All right, the second part of our podcast is going to be where we highlight a local business, and I'm fortunate to have a gentleman I've known for a number of years who's terrorized my children in trivial matters at high school, Mr. Scott Johnson. And Scott, thank you for coming here. Scott's taken a new endeavor. Scott's taken the plunge into the entrepreneurial waters and have opened up an excellent shop that I've visited many times called The Legacy. And I just want to introduce Scott. And Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe your background shortly, but really more importantly, how did you ever decide to get into a business like you're in?
Well, I was a school teacher for 28 years. As you mentioned, I had all your children in school, and they were great, obviously. After I left teaching, I was a geologist for a couple years and never really was very fulfilled in that role. And so I decided I was too old to work for anyone else, and I decided I'd just take the plunge and go all in on trying to start something from scratch. I've always valued creative people and always was at my best when I was around creative people. And so we decided to profile local artists and craftspeople, everybody from very, very fine woodworkers to artists that work with paints and sculpture and things like that. And we found that this community has a tremendous amount of talent, and we right now have over 60 local artists that have their work in our shop. And so along with that, I wanted to create a space where intellectual activities could take place, where we could celebrate music and things like that. And so we also started a little coffee shop next door. And the idea was I knew I'd probably never be able to survive on just one part of this equation. And so I basically tried to start three businesses at once. We have the artist shop where we sell work for people.
Which I've purchased a number of things. In fact, in this room right now, you can see where there's
That's right.
a picture. Wasn't this guy a high school student that created that picture?
Yes. Now he's out of high school now.
Right, he graduated. I'm sorry.
Right, there is and we all just kind of found each other. There turns out that there are a lot of people looking for a place to display their work
Right.
and to kind of show their talents. And we found out that there are incredible people living next door to us that do incredible things that most of us never realized. So. We have that. We have the coffee shop, and then I have the woodworking shop in the back where we offer classes for people to learn how to do woodworking. We also do a lot of repair work on mostly legacy pieces that perhaps belong to your grandfather, for example, and you want to be able to pass it down to someone else. And it's in need of reconstruction.
So you guys do that? You don't. The people don't have to come in then do that. You can actually do that.
Yes, we do that kind of work for them. Like for example, an older gentleman came in the other day with a rocking chair that belonged to his grandfather, and it was a little broken apart, and so we used old tools. And one of my friends, Mick Jacks, which is an older gentleman that loves a hand plane, we planed down the oak, and we made new boards where they needed it, and repaired where it needed. And we don't do really refinishing. We're more
the repair.
Woodworkers. Yeah,
the repair.
Right.
You know, but also I know when our church group went in there. And Scott was great in the fact that he gave us the material to work with. We made birdhouses, we made crosses. But I also know that you made some boxes of some sort for like a middle school or something like that.
Yeah, we've done some raised bed gardens for some of the schools. We've done a community garden where we made raised bed gardens for them. I've had Girl Scout troops.
Yes, that was in the paper, wasn't it?
Yes.
Excellent.
And we have actually the 7th of July, another Girl Scout troop from a local community is coming in, and we're making lending libraries, little mini libraries that sit out on the...
I've seen those in Indianapolis,
right.
where you can actually open up,
right.
There's books.
Take
and
a book
Is that right? Are they going to be here in Logansport?
Yes, that's
Is that right?
So,
that is very cool.
Yeah, so we're making a couple of those, and they'll be around the community, and that's something I've wanted to do also. So we also have used books and things like that in the shop. So
that is very cool.
But it's been fun.
And now last Friday night, what did you do? And now obviously this isn't this Friday night, but last Friday night, what did you guys do?
Well, we have live music most Friday nights, and some Wednesday nights. But last Friday night we had a pop-up dessert show by a very accomplished pastry chef that works in some fine hotels in Chicago. He's a local
That's
guy.
unbelievable.
And they came down, and we had a dessert show. His sister's a very talented business person, is developing a new skincare line, so she launched her products that same night. We have pop-up art shows. The desserts were delicious.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Scott was so nice to this guy that I saw him putting a chocolate cupcake in his mouth, just making sure that this guy felt good about
That's
being
right,
there. Is
that's
that right?
It was. You didn't have to coax me very hard to put that chocolate cupcake in my mouth. So.
But I tell you, to me it's amazing because first of all, my Bess, I would say one of her favorite Christmas presents was this beautiful rock. She's from South Dakota and loves rock, and I can't remember what the name of that rock was, but it was like a blue-black rock that was just gorgeous.
Yes.
We bought some paintings, one of which your father painted.
That's right.
Which was absolutely beautiful. It was like a springtime setting with Michigan. But you go down this hallway, and there's painting after painting after painting in there. But every time I go there, and I probably go there at least once or twice a week, I'd say,
right.
Every time there's something new. Every time there's something new.
We literally have new work and new artists coming in every day.
It's unbelievable.
And it is. It's everybody that makes cutting boards to, like I say, fine arts. And so it's been really remarkable how much talent there is around. And
exactly.
Ultimately, we'd like to get to the point where we're really focusing on legacy items that are going to be in your family for literally generations to come. So we don't want things really that are going to end up in a yard sale in 2 years.
Exactly.
So, and we're working towards getting to that point.
And I'm going to talk about the coffee shop for a while. The coffee shop's great because not only is it a coffee shop, to me, it's more of a gathering place.
That's
because
right.
there's like 3 or 4 places you can sit. There's games.
Yep.
There's books galore. I know Joe and Lee Scheidler. Now, there's what's so great about Scott's adventure. A long time standing couple in Logansport, Joe and Lee Scheidler. And now Joe's making, what would you call it? Kind of homemade breads?
Artisan bread.
Artisan bread.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm not that cultured. I'm sorry.
Completely organic. In fact,
and they're great.
Their ovens are powered by the sun.
That is
their house is completely off the electrical grid. They actually make more power with their solar panels than
right?
And they actually charge their car with. So they don't even use gasoline.
That is so cool because this bread that they make,
it's delicious.
And then Coon's Bakery, local place,
right.
they've got stuff there. And then your drinks, which I've noticed, are about 20% cheaper than let's say a company called $5.
There you go.
Because you can't get a drink for less than $5 there. But at Scott's, it's much less. And also, if I'm not mistaken, some of these coffees you have are like from local.
Oh, they're all local. We really value shopping local and putting our money where our mouth is on this. And like I say, we found that there is so much talent in probably everybody's community, wherever you are.
That's so cool,
You
Scott.
just have to search it out. So our coffee roasters that do our coffees for us are all, the one that's the farthest away is actually in Bloomington, Indiana.
Is that right?
But the majority of the coffee is roasted by a new company just starting out. We're their very first coffee shop in Peru, Indiana.
I saw where Peru had it.
Right, they're only 10 miles away. So we're basically neighbors, and we're trying to stay that way. And we're ultimately building a small kitchen where we're going to sell charcuterie, meats and cheeses on boards with fresh bread and crackers and so on. And we will source all those things from local farms and such.
Well, this is my thoughts. And if you do have a local business, locally owned business, please give me a call and we will highlight you like we've highlighted Scott. But this is my belief about Logansport. We have a boxer's chance. We have a great school system. We have a locally owned hospital. We have a locally owned utility. We've got 2 rivers. Geographically, we're in a nice area. And I don't believe we're going to get a General Motors or a Subaru plant here. That is my belief.
Right. I think we spend a lot of energy trying to attract big business.
Right.
I really think the answer in this economy may be
small business. It absolutely is. First of all, I think nationally, what is it, like 80% of the economy is made up of small businesses, might even be higher.
Really?
I'm a small business owner.
Right.
Secondly, we're not going to get this huge bonfire. But if we get a lot of little campfires, like you guys, like Walter's down there, locally owned businesses,
Right.
Consolidated Union, one that just opened up kind of by Shively's Barbecue.
That's right.
We've got to support them, folks. I mean, we've got to support, because you know what? Marion doesn't care about us. Lafayette doesn't care about us. Kokomo doesn't care about us. We have to support our own. And when you start getting this synergy, now Scott's business is down there. Now Shively's business is down there. Now is it called the Body Works?
Yoga studio.
Yoga studios down there. Those are going to be what is Logansport in the future. We're not going to have J.C. Penney's downtown. We're not going to have Sears. We're not going to have Western Auto down there. Locally owned, grown entrepreneurs that are using the products of other entrepreneurs. That's how we're going to survive.
That's right. And there are a lot of boutiques opening in the downtown area as well as around the community.
Sure, good point.
And I think that we're about to reach that tipping point where Logansport can become a destination for the surrounding community.
That's an excellent point, Scott. It can become a destination instead of a drive-through, where people are saying, all right, there's a couple of different antique places. I know that there's a place that sells antique goods and services. We can get a coffee there. We can go across the street to a Hispanic restaurant and have some great food.
Delicious.
And it will create a synergy.
That's
It's a symbiotic relationship, which basically means Scott's winning, but someone else isn't losing. Scott's winning, and other people are winning, and as such, our community can win.
Well, I read a short book before I started this, and a line in this book really stuck with me. It said, "Attempt to succeed through creativity, not necessarily through competition." With the coffee shop, you think, oh, well, there are other coffee shops out there and such. But I don't think there's any shortage of people.
No.
What you have to do is you have to create the right space, you have to create the right environment, and you have to, offer a good product. And then I think there's plenty of business out there. It's just a matter of getting the word out and developing your business. And I still have a long way to go. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
A long way to go. But it's been a lot of fun.
Well, what you offer is value. I mean, companies in Logansport are not going to be able to beat the margins of Walmart.
Right.
Companies in Logansport are not going to be able to beat the technology of Amazon and have 5 pair of shoes delivered here overnight. But what they are going to be able to do is provide services like this that other places don't provide. And then if we take the time to learn about this, what amazes me? I mean, as I said, I've been there a number of times. In a week, how many people I tell about it, that the majority of people don't know it's there.
Yes, that's right. Even though we've been open for about 7 months now,
Has it been that long?
It has. We opened the artist part of it in last November.
Okay.
The coffee shop just opened a couple of months ago.
Right.
And the kitchen area and the used bookstore will be opening soon. The wood shop has been ongoing.
Right.
But again, most people still don't know about us.
And where are you located?
On 116 South 6th Street in Logansport, downtown.
Now, that used to be
Schrader's Auto Parts.
Schrader's Auto
Yes.
Parts. Okay.
Many different auto parts store, but Schrader's for the longest time.
And it's too bad. It's too bad that you didn't get to see it. But I got to see the coffee shop before it was the coffee shop, and it was a greasy, oily place. But did you make the floor, or did you? Did you put the floor in?
Yes.
And what is the floor from? I can't remember what it was.
It's from semi-trailers.
That's it.
It's inch and a half thick solid oak flooring from semi-trailers, which are pretty indestructible.
It is pretty. It is, as I said.
Everything has to be designed in there to survive a brawl. That's what I decided. So everything's heavy. So.
That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, folks. That's Legacy on what was it again, Scott?
116 South 6th Street.
I encourage you, and as I said, if you have a local business and would like to be on this little segment here, I don't know if we're going to reach 2 people or 2,000 people. You just don't know. I'd love to have you on. Just give Sharon a call and we'll get you scheduled. So, Scott, thanks very much for coming in, buddy.
Thanks for having us.